When we develop a deep understanding of what's going on at the root of all our problems, we empower ourselves with the knowledge and understanding and the tools and resources to be able to take on any challenge, be it physical, emotional, psychological, or even spiritual. We can change the narrative from "I don't know how to help myself because I don't know what's wrong with me" to "I understand what's going on with me, so I now have the tools and resources to make the right changes." So a patient was struggling with bowel symptoms for over 2 years. He was experiencing constipation that would fluctuate with diarrhea, abdominal pains, nausea and reflux, and he'd seen multiple doctors, had multiple investigations with his GP, and then he was being referred to different specialists who had done more invasive tests, and along the way he was being given several different diagnoses such as irritable bowel syndrome, diverticular disease, bile acid malabsorption, and he was given different medications to try. However, none of these were helping with his symptoms. So we sat down together and we reviewed his journey so far, and we looked at all the tests that he'd had done, and one useful thing from his test was that he could be reassured that there was nothing sinister going on. We discussed that his symptoms were not going to improve with medications, and this was because we needed to look at the underlying root cause of what was going on. So we had an in-depth discussion about his gut and the gut microbiome, and when we were able to describe to him what was happening at the root of all of these problems, where his gut microbiome was dysfunctioning because the gut was becoming leaky and toxins were getting into the rest of his system and causing the symptoms he was getting, he felt more empowered knowing this information. So we took a deep look into his diet and his lifestyle, the things that were causing him stress and his sleep patterns, and he began to understand how all of these were impacting his gut and causing gut dysfunction and dysfunction in the gut microbiome, and ultimately leading to his symptoms. So now, empowered with this knowledge, he started to improve his diet. He first did an elimination of any foods that were highly processed or highly inflammatory. He started with cutting out gluten and dairy and meat. And then he started to work on other aspects of his life, like improving his sleep patterns and working on his stresses through more mindful practices. Within a few weeks, he was able to see that his diarrhea and constipation were all settling down, and his nausea and abdominal pains were also improving too. He was able to make these changes because he was empowered with the knowledge and understanding of what was going on at the root of all his problems. And because of this, he was in control of the actions that he could take to make things better.